I'm so glad you're here today. Let's get started and jump right into my fall porch tour. Oh my gosh, it has been so fun decorating the porch for fall. Hi, if you're new here or you've been here before, my name is Tracy. I love to decorate. I would say that my decor style is, as you can see, more magical than practical, I guess. If I had to describe it to someone. But with that being said, I try to be practical a lot in the sense that I try to always reuse and repurpose my things as much as I can. But I'm also a girly girl. I love to shop, so I love picking up new things. But yeah, so let's get started. So as you can see right here on my railing, I used this garland, this flower garland. I picked this up from Michael's and I just love it. I just love the little pops of flowers. This came from a stem and I actually just popped it on the end because as you can see, I used my little tie here to wrap it around the railing. And I think it just gives it like a whimsical look. Look at my adorable little owl. If you remember from my haul video, I picked up these little, I think they're ornaments actually, but I picked them up from Michael's. You'll see several of those on the porch. But I think this owl is adorable. And then I just have my beautiful garland going all the way down here. And then look at this little squirrel. Oh, he's a keeper. I had to add him in. You know, when I'm out and I see things, I just let it talk to me. Like, that's how I get my ideas. I see something and I just kind of go with it from there. I live in another world most of the time anyway. When I was a child, I used to daydream a lot. And I just try to bring in the world when I'm decorating. Now here, so when you first come in, you're greeted by my welcome sign right here. And I just attached my little owl. If I remember, I think I found him at Home Goods. I love his bow tie. And y'all know I am, well, if you've been here before, you know I am a sucker for the plaid. Look at his adorable little glasses. He is precious. And then as you can see, I just secured him right here. And then if you come down, this is always on my porch. I love this little planter. My husband gifted this to me. And then I just popped in some flowers. I picked these up at, where did I get these? Oh, Hobby Lobby. Yes, I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. And then I just mixed it in with all this old greenery that I've had. I mean, some of this greenery is from Walmart. I've just had it and I love it and I've just reused it. And then if you remember, I have my Christmas cactus here. This is Willard. He had a will to survive. My parents had sent him to me in the mail. I've talked about that before. So I named him Willard. And here I just popped on that ribbon that I love so much from Hobby Lobby. And then of course I've had this pumpkin. I think I got this pumpkin at the at-home store, but I've had this for, I think maybe I picked it up last year or the year before. And then this large pumpkin right here is from Hobby Lobby. It's the carvable pumpkins. So I thought that was a nice touch right there. And then I love these mums Or at least I think these are mums. Y'all know I'm not too good with the flowers, but I love these. And these were on sale at Hobby Lobby, so of course I had to pick up the yellow ones. And I think they're coming off more red. I don't know, sometimes my camera, but they're like an orangish red. And then I have my little fox. Look how adorable she is with her flowers. And I just popped on this little pumpkin on a small hay bale, and everything is secure with like painter's tape, so nothing like moves around, and it doesn't get wet over here on this side. So I love how my little squirrel looks sitting up on the hay bale. So I just love how this came together on this side. And then if you come over here, this is pretty much the same thing. I just took the flower garland and then look at my little pig. He is so cute. Again, these are just the little ornaments that were on sale at Michael's. I think they were on sale for like $3 and some change. And I have my flowers, the little flower garland. Again, I just bought 2 of them, and then I put them along here. And then, of course, I had to put my little owl up here. And then, speaking of repurposing and reusing, if you remember, this was a fairy house that I have now turned into a squirrel house. I did a shorts on it. I absolutely love it. I added in some miniature leaves, some miniature squirrels. I made this little piece of art right here. This was like a miniature frame that had like a butterfly inside of it, but I took it out, added some leaves, put this little 3D squirrel sticker. And I just love it. I love how it turned out. It's got the little hanging basket with a pumpkin. And then if you look inside, it's just hanging out. They're all hanging out, just having an awesome day in the woods, collecting their nuts for the winter. I love the trees. I just have so much fun. When I'm decorating, I just picture the world that I want to live in, make it magical. I'm a lot like my father, I'm realizing in that sense, because everything he touches turns to magic. He really revamps it, changes it up. He gets his creativity by drawing his things out. Whereas for me, I'll be in the store and I'll see one little thing, like I'll see like this, and then my mind just takes off. But I think he's adorable on his little skateboard. And then I just included some more of the flowers over here. And then I added in some pumpkins. These actually came in a bag. There's like a whole bunch of them in a bag. And so I've just kind of scattered them, as you'll see, all over the porch. And then again, this is one of the, I'm sorry if you can hear my stomach growling. This is one of the ornaments again. This is the fox. And I just placed him on top of a little hay bale. And then up here, I love this little 3 set of pumpkins. So I just popped that right there. And then I picked up this little guy at Michael's. I think he's just so adorable. Once again, y'all know, as you can see from the ribbon and the little critters, I love just the plaid. I'm really into ribbon right now and like bows. I love, love, love these florals. I picked these up from Michael's. I love orange, And I think the orange looks really good on my porch because my, this is stained red. I just love it. And you might recognize these bows came from Dollar Tree. And then here I just popped in, like I said, some more of the little pumpkins. I love this little guy. I can't remember. Y'all might remember. I don't remember where I got him. If it was Home Goods or TJ Maxx. It could have even been Marshall's. I don't remember. But those are usually my hot spots for finding my little critters. And I just love them so much. Now, this guy right here, who I'm absolutely in love with, he is from Home Goods. Jackson and I picked him up. If you saw that video, my sweet son was just here for a visit. Look at his little hat and his little ears poking through. Is he not precious? And again, he has on plaid. Hello, that was just speaking to me. And look at his little turkey. And look at his little pants, you guys. They're little corduroy breeches. He is precious. And then let me see if I can turn around this way. I want to show you the squirrel's tail. Look at that. Can you see? Look at how beautiful that is. Yep, so I was sold on all of that. So I just think that's beautiful to walk into. Okay, so where should we start? Let's just finish up on this side. How about that? So I have my rocking chairs here because, hubby and I always keep these clear so hubby and I can come out here and have a nice drink or a nice snack whenever there's like a nice storm or just need some quiet time. But here I have another one of my little Christmas cactuses. And then I just popped it inside this wreath. And I added some little pumpkins that came, I think they were 6 in a pack from the Dollar Tree. Did y'all just see that frog? Listen, y'all are going to see frogs and lizards on my porch. You see them right there? It's home to them, and I don't mind it. So, look. So once again, that's just a bow from the Dollar Tree. Y'all know I keep this table here. This is my little wicker table. I love to decorate it, so I throw my little bow on. And then down here, if you remember, I did a little makeover on this. I had picked this up from the thrift shop, and then I gave it a makeover. So I think I did a little shorts on that, so you'll have to check that out. But I love it. I mean, look at all the little pumpkins and scarecrows. I love the little orange bicycle and the wagon, and I just think that's so cute. And then over here on the end, I just popped this wreath. I kind of gave this wreath a little makeover as well. I had purchased it from the thrift store, and then I just added some more garland and pumpkins and ribbon. Now, up here, I had picked this up from the thrift store. The pumpkin. It was just the pumpkin, a metal pumpkin, and it was $2.99, and I just thought that was such a good deal. And so what I have done here, and you may recognize some of these florals because these are old, and you can tell too because if I come in real close you can see some of them have worn, but I mean that right here, that just does not bother me. I love these florals. I've had these. You might recognize them if you were here for my last fall video. You might recognize them from that video. So I just reuse those. And then I just popped in a little bird. I think he is so cute. And of course, I had to add some ribbon. So he's just hanging out and chilling, keeping watch over the porch. Yeah, so I just love that. I think that turned out really well. Like I said, you guys, I'm very magical. I love the magic of all things. Okay, so you come over here. Let me back it up so you can get a little view. Okay, so I have my garland here. I love this garland, and then I just secured it with some more ribbon. This garland I had picked up from Home Goods. I actually picked up 2 of them. You'll see the other one in just a minute on the bench. Now behind here I just popped in a little sign, meet me at the pumpkin patch, don't you know it? That's from the Dollar Tree. And then down here, I just threw in some more of my little critters. Look how adorable they are. I love them. She is from Home Goods. Look at her little skirt. Isn't she precious? And then you will remember, if you've been here before, this was part of my decor with my gnomes and my fairies. So I just popped some more of these stems in there. This beauty, oh my gosh, she was found at Marshall's. I love her. Look at her sweet little face. She is so precious with her little flowers. And like I said, everything is secure with painter's tape underneath so it won't go anywhere. And then I just added these little pumpkins down here that I've had. You may remember these stems from my last fall video. Those are old. And I have my little pumpkin. Added some more little stems. These stems right here I actually got from Michael's. The other ones that I showed you were from Hobby Lobby, but they're quite similar. And then again from Michael's, I got this little guy. I'm just a sucker for these things. I just absolutely love them. I use them in all my decor. At Easter, y'all have seen, I have all the little bunnies. And then from Hobby Lobby, I have this adorable little pumpkin sign. It has all my little favorite colors, the white, the orange, the green. This pumpkin, I think I showed this in a haul. I had picked this up from the at-home store. I love that store so much. More flowers that came from Hobby Lobby. And then this guy, I found him at Home Goods. I actually found them on the same day. I found him first at Home Goods. Look at his little pumpkin. And I love his plaid shirt. He's so well dressed for fall. And then I got lucky because after Home Goods, I went straight to Marshall's and that's where I found her. So I love how this turned out. And then over here, y'all recognize this plant. I think it's just so beautiful for fall. And look, it has, you know, their pretties on there. And I thought that gives a nice little fall touch. And then I want to show you. So right here, I just have, because I love all the greenery, I just have my ferns. But so like behind us is the front door. So when you walk out, you see the fall sign. And I love that. I love for there to be little touches everywhere. And then if you come over here, you may remember my little doggy. I actually filmed a shorts on this. The swing was a thrift store find and I took all the lace off. It was originally white and I spray painted it brown. Look how sweet she is with her pumpkins. And I added my little bird. Isn't he sweet? Once again, this is one of the ornaments from Michael's. And then here I just added some ribbon and I made like this little, I hung it up like it's a little wreath. I thought that looked really good with the swing. And then if you remember this little sign, and then I just wrote on here, puppy kisses, 5 cents. And I think it all turned out really well. The puppy, she was from Hobby Lobby, along with the little plaid. Those are napkins that I used as like a little cushion. So I just think that's precious. And then right here, I just added a little acorn and a little metal pumpkin and my welcome friend sign. This is my Carolina planters. If you're new to my channel or if you've been here before, you know we live in the Carolinas. And look, then I just added these sweet little, I guess, what, Highlander cows? Oh my gosh, they are so precious. Now, before we start over here, let me back up and I'll show you the table. So this table was a dumpster dive. A neighbor was getting rid of it, and so I just walked down. With her permission, I grabbed it out of her trash can. And so I have that. And then here, I just popped in a fall wreath, added some acorns and some pine cones, a little bit of ribbon. And you might remember these little flowers right here were actually in a basket that I had on the door last year. And then I have to show you, look at this little acorn. I have to show you what I did. It's just like styrofoam. Look, I cut out the middle so I could just stick it here. And I think that looks beautiful. And then of course here, I just have like a little log. Usually I used this when I was decorating with my fairies and gnomes, but now it has an adorable little squirrel on it with his acorn and pumpkin. I think that's very pretty. I'm sorry, you guys, my stomach is growling. After I film this, I'm gonna be heading inside and having some lunch. And then over here, y'all know I love my greenery. So I just popped in a metal pumpkin with some hay bales. And I have my little pumpkin right here. And of course, y'all remember these are old bunnies. I've had these. And I just put some ribbon around them to match my fall vibes. Added my adorable little squirrel, again from Michael's. And then here's some ribbon from Dollar Tree. And this big bunny I had picked up from Hobby Lobby. Now on the back of the bench, I have the garland. This is the other garland that I picked up from Home Goods. And I just placed my little sweet squirrel right here. He's just hanging out, chilling, keeping watch. I love him. I just love the leaves. And you might recognize this pillow. I've had this. That was from Target. And look at my beautiful banner. Let me back up so you can get a good look. Now you might remember if you saw that video, I had picked up this big pumpkin from Hobby Lobby. And it has metal stakes under it. So what I did was I just used pool noodles and put the pool noodles on there and across, and then I used flower stems and just put all the flower stems in there. So that's what you're seeing. let me tell you right now, you know what helps with my creativity? Hubby. Hubby helps with my creativity because let me tell you, he was with me when I was getting a bunch of stuff. We were spending the day together. And he's the one that actually suggested cutting the pumpkin in half. So this pumpkin that you see here was a whole pumpkin. It's the carvable pumpkins from Hobby Lobby. And I cut that in half, so I have two halves right there. Now let me tell you, that was probably my first time and my last time doing that because, woo, that was a workout. And you don't want to cut any fingers off. So, you might not be seeing that again because that was a lot of work. But with that being said, I love how it turned out. And then my banner here, I picked this up from Hobby Lobby. I absolutely love it. I love the different shades of color on the banner with the leaves. And look how beautiful. I just popped in all these leaves. Now, all these leaves that you see here, I just picked up from the Dollar Tree. And then, like I said, I had these florals, these flowers that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. And over here, I just cut off some ribbon and tied some bows. So it would make it look a little bit prettier because as you can see, I have my hooks. So I was just trying to make that look a little bit better. Now, if you come over here in this corner, I got a foxy lady. Could she be any prettier? Look, oh my heavens. I love her so much. Look at her little flowers. I just propped her up on a little stool, and you guys have seen I love those napkins from Hobby Lobby. So she's actually sitting on a napkin, but I think it adds a nice touch to the decor because it kind of matches what everybody else is wearing with the orange. And then in front, look at this. I think this is precious. This pumpkin I actually picked up before summer from the thrift store. Y'all know I love to thrift shop. That's what I'm saying. I'm practical in the sense that I always like to reuse and repurpose things. But, you know, like I said, I do enjoy looking at what's hitting the shelves, what's new, and buying new things. So I just try to have a nice balance of stuff. But look at her little florals and her little crochet. Look at that. Her little collar and her sleeves. And then this had a tag on it, but I just kept it. I took the tag off and I just left this because it looks like she's pulling her wagon. And then inside, this is kind of like a bowl filler. So I just added the pine cones and little pumpkins, popped in a few leaves to look like she's been collecting stuff all day. And then, I mean, come on, look at her bow. I'm such a sucker for this stuff. She is adorable. And so then down here, I just have more Michael's critters. Look, isn't he cute and sweet? He's just chilling, reading a good book. Then I just popped in one of those pumpkins with another metal pumpkin. And then over this way, I have a basket of flowers. I actually picked up this basket. I think it was $2.99 from the thrift store. I love this basket. And then I have all my florals. I love these so much. I showed these in a haul. Look at all the beautiful colors. And then I just popped in another little birdie. And I have my little pumpkin. The little pumpkin is hot glued down to the hay. Now, on most of these, I just leave the plastic because it can get kind of messy. So just for me personally, I just like to leave that on. And then right here by the front door, it's my little squirrel swing. I had picked this up at an artisan store. Like one day I was just thrifting and, you know, consignment shopping, and I found this swing. And so I just popped in the squirrel and the pumpkin. I've been trying to show you what my plans were for the porch, and I hope it came out the way y'all were thinking it would or hoping it would. And then I just added in this little happy fall little sign that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and again added some more ribbon so you don't really see my no damage hooks. And then you might remember this little sign. Okay, well, it was a plant that I did not have luck with. It died. And so I kept this, and what I did was I cut this pumpkin in half. Let me show you. So here, this is the pumpkin. See how it's all round? This is a stem from Hobby Lobby. I just cut it in half, and then I added it to the sign. And then I'm not sure if you remember, if you've been here a while, last fall, I had a basket that had flowers on the door, and it had this welcome sign across the basket. So I just took that off and put it on here, and I think it turned out really, really well. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then here, y'all have seen this. This is always by my front door. This is the Hearth and Hand line. I love it. I just popped in a wreath and another pumpkin, and then down here I have some florals from the Hobby Lobby. And y'all know I've had this little bunny down here. I always just pop like a little ribbon on him. He was from the Target dollar spot years ago. And then over here I just have another adorable little critter. And then I have my little doggy. I love dogs. I absolutely love dogs. Y'all know we have 2 dogs. We did have 3. My sweet Gilly went to heaven. But I always have dogs on my porch. So I have 2 topiary dogs. I have this one that has a little bow from Dollar Tree. And then I have this one that I picked up years ago from Big Lots, and he is always by the front door. I always decorate him so he has his little ribbon on. And then right in here, y'all might recognize some of these greens. I've had these greens for forever. So I just popped them in here, and then I popped in some pumpkins that were on some greenery from the Dollar Tree. And then I just added in some pumpkins that I've had. Doesn't he look sweet? And then my front door, I have my wreath that I absolutely love. I love how I added in my little critters, little bird. I love all the colors. The little hedgehog. And again, I have another little owl. Hello. Yes. And then if we pop back over here, the last thing I want to show you is my basket. Now, I had picked up this basket from the thrift store, and I just popped in these Dollar Tree stems with some pine cones and some ribbon. And that is how my porch has come out. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you think. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by. And I will see you in the next video.